good to be in the Peach State. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Final 2 years that Turner Field will be the home of the Braves. They're moving out to suburbia, to Marietta. And that's where they'll play going forward, beginning in 2017. Welcome, everybody, to Atlanta. Rockies and Braves. Rockies trying to win their 7th straight game against Atlanta. Now, all 6 of those victories have come at home. And historically, this has been a difficult place for the Rockies to play. Charlie Blackmon knows Atlanta well. He went to Georgia Tech. He grew up in the area. In fact, there are a number of Rockies that have a number of family members here because of the connections between some players in Atlanta. This was a tweet. Georgia boys. DJ's from all over the place, but, you know, he grew up in high school in Michigan, but his wife is from down here, so they make their off-season home here. Kyle Parker, his dad's here. You'll hear from him a little bit later on. Ben Paulson's obviously an Atlanta area kid. Charlie getting ready to go. I don't know what the holdup is. The Braves still haven't taken the field, Huey. What's going on?
It's got to be the pitcher, because they don't go out there until the pitcher runs out onto the hill. And
I thought they were looking for Pascual Perez for a moment.
And missing the exit for the stadium? Well, there's only a few people that do that.
I have not done that since earlier this afternoon.
That's why I had to take a picture of it.
Did you tweet that out, by the way?
I did not tweet it out.
We did our Pascual Perez. We drove right by. I was trying to give Huey directions and he messed it up. That's a bald-faced lie, isn't it? I was driving.
That is straight up.
All right, Blackmon comes in with a 291 average, and Charlie will be followed in the batting order by Jose Reyes. Here's the Southwest official order from Walt Weiss. Cargo at 273. He's hit well in Atlanta in his career. Arenado, he has 30 home runs as well. Ben Paulson will bat 5th. DJ 6th. Nick Hundley at 304 after a good weekend. Kyle Parker will bat 8th. He'll be in left field. And, of course, De La Rosa on the mound. Julio Teheran is pitching for the Braves tonight, and when he's on the mound, they have played pretty well. When he's not on the mound, this team has really struggled.
He's been their most consistent starter, at least somebody that they score some runs for. Shelby Miller hasn't been bad. They just don't score any runs, and the Rockies will see Shelby on Wednesday. But for Teheran, in his last 4 games, he's 2-0 with a 2.45 ERA. And part of the reason why is where he has moved on the rubber. He's moved from maybe more on the third base side, middle, to on the first base side. And that's made a huge difference for him, trying to get that fastball to stay on the outside to the right-handed batters, or maybe run a little way from the left-handers. And that has helped Julio in his development.
And his ERA, Huey, at home is about 4 earned runs better than it is out on the road.
A 244 at home, 632 out on the road. A fastball is a major league average fastball at 91 miles an hour. Might even be a tick below it at times. A slider, curve, and a changeup. When he gets in trouble, it's with his slider.
When he gets strikeouts, it's with his slider as well. It is a beautiful Monday evening here in Atlanta. As we are ready for baseball. This begins a 9-game homestand for the Braves. After the Rockies, the Yankees come to town. I'm sure that will be well attended. And then the Miami Marlins will be in following the Yankees. So here we go. The Rockies playing a 6-game road trip. 3 here in Georgia and then 3 in Pittsburgh. And the first pitch from Teheran is outside. Ball 1 at 91. Charlie hitting very well against the Braves this year, 10 for 18. And that fastball at the knees. 87 degrees. The game time temperature was in the mid-90s earlier.
And the humidity is not at 95% like it normally is.
I mean, it's still warm, but it's not oppressive. This is down the left field line, and Johnny Gomes not going to be able to get there. This looks like right now. I'm going to be.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm looking out here, and you have rows upon rows of seats right behind home plate, field level, first and third base line, flat empty.
It's not something that you're used to seeing here in Atlanta. I know they didn't draw until they made the playoffs in those years, but they would still draw 35,000 a night.
1-2 on Charlie. He'll step out. I'm going to send out an invitation to all these folks in the upper deck.
Move on down.
You have permission to move down to the field level today at no additional cost. This ball's clubbed deep right field. Stay fair. It is gone. Leadoff home run, Chuck Nasty. Welcome home. His 15th of the year.
Well, we drove by Georgia Tech on the way today to the stadium. We were talking about Charlie just being down the road from where he played collegiately. Fastball inside, down and in. The question was it going to hook or was it going to stay straight? You're looking at it down the line. Charlie's hoping and wishing, and it stays fair for his 15th home run.
It's his 11th career leadoff home run. He's number 1 on that list in Rockies history, ahead of EY Sr. Jose Reyes swings and misses.
Take another look at the home run. It sounded great off the bat. You knew it had the distance.
Jose out on his front foot, and this is into shallow left. Drop stepping and making the catch is Pedro Sirocco. Take a look at the Braves defensively. In the outfield, Johnny Gomes is in left. Cameron Maben is at center. Cameron's had a good year. He's a very good center fielder. Nick Markakis in right. Adonis Garcia, young player, at third. They like how he plays defensively. Sirocco's in there for Andrelton Simmons. Simmons will be back tomorrow. Tweaked his knee a couple of days ago. They're giving him 1 extra day. Jace Peterson, hard-nosed guy at second. Freddie Freeman back in action at first, and behind the plate, Christian Bethancourt. And the first pitch in there to Cargo for a strike. Cargo against the Braves this year, 7 for 15. A couple home runs. 343 career-wise down here at Turner Field. Outside.
And we showed some highlights of Cargo in that series back in Denver. Remember, he had that one game where he had that walk-off bloop single.
This ball lined toward the gap in right center field, and it's tracked down out there by Markakis. So a hard out, 2 gone, and that'll bring up Arenado. Nolan also good numbers against the Braves this year, 7 for 17. He's having a solid August, batting .310 in the month of August.
Oh.
Larry Vanover is behind home plate. Brian Knight at first. Vic Carapazza is at second, and Adam Amari is at third. And that also is called a strike. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Nolan. Rockies up 1-0 on the home run by Charlie Blackmon. Outfield straight up for Nolan, and this one is going to flip over the Braves dugout out of play.
Mentioned the home run. That's the 20th home run that Julio has given up.
It's a bunch.
Yeah, 11 to left-handers, 9 to right-handers.
The lefties are hitting .298 against Turan. Righties just .228. Slider count, and that's what he got. That's where he gets most of his strikeouts, as we were talking about. So the Rockies off to a quick start on the Blackmon home run. 1-0 Rockies. We'll see Jorge De La Rosa on the hill when we come back. home run of the year. Jorge De La Rosa had to like that. 34-year-old all-time winningest pitcher in Rockies history. Getting ready to go. Nick Markakis will lead it off. The former Baltimore Oriole for the Braves. Here's the Southwest batting order for Freddie Gonzalez tonight. Cameron Maybin having a breakout year. He's hitting .276 with some pop, 10 home runs. Then Freddie Freeman, he's always hurt the Rockies. Johnny Gomes will be next. Then Christian Bethancourt, Jace Peterson, Adonis Garcia, Pedro Sirocco, and Julio Teheran. Well, De La is in a good place. He threw 6 shutout innings last time he was on the hill against the Nats.
Yeah, and he struck out 6 in that game through 110 pitches. Beat the Atlanta Braves in that 4-game set back in Colorado on the 11th of July. 6 innings, 4 hits, just a couple earned runs, 7 strikeouts. And for De La out on the road this year, much better than it was last year. This year out on the road, .317 ERA, .220 batting average against. Last year, over 5. Folks are hitting close to .250 against him.
So here we go. Markakis steps in. It's the 32nd time he's hitting the leadoff spot this year. Gotten on base about 36% of the time. Markakis has given them what they expected when they signed him, with one exception. He's hit only 2 home runs, Jeff.
And remember, if you go back to that series in Colorado, he didn't have any home runs at that time. So a couple since then.
And this is a ground ball to short. Reyes looks it in, 1 out. Here's the Rockies defense. It's dropped off a little bit from last year overall. Kyle Parker's in left, Blackman in center, Cargo is in right. Arenado with 13 errors, but he's going to win another Gold Glove. He's sensational there, as we all know. Jose Reyes, 13 errors. He's at shortstop. LeMahieu, hopefully he'll capture another Gold Glove the way he's performed. Ben Paulson's been impressive with the glove. Nick Hundley behind the plate. And it's good to see Nick again. He had to leave the ball game Saturday after taking a foul tip off the mask. Didn't play yesterday. Dustin Garneau did. But he checked out just fine and is back where he belongs in the lineup. That ball's chopped foul by Maybin.
Okay, raise your hand if you had Cameron Maybin on August 24th leading the Braves in RBIs. I didn't see any hands go up.
And there's no hands going up in the upper deck, the mezzanine level, or the field level either. He has really hit it off with their hitting coach, Kevin Seitz. Now, Huey, you had a number of hitting coaches in your lengthy big league career. Cameron was up front. He said, you know, we just connected right away, and it's really benefited him.
And no rhyme or reason, because Kevin was probably saying the same thing as 3 or 4 other hitting coaches have told him. Hey, you need to stay inside the baseball.
This is foul. Wow, that was close. Fortunately, it was foul.
But for Cameron, he's heard all of this before. You need to stay inside. You can't pull that left shoulder out. Keep your head down. All of that. But for whatever reason, it just clicked with Kevin. And for Cameron, it's really turned his career around.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always been a young man who had a lot of promise, but he's moved from team to team, and you know, he's battled injuries, in fairness, also out in San Diego. The other thing that's helped him, he was upfront about this, he's a North Carolina kid. He's from Asheville, North Carolina. In fact, tell the story, he is close with it. The splitter is in the dirt. He's very close with the Rockies bullpen coach, Darren Holmes, because they went to the same high school, and then Darren was helping out with the baseball program. He remembers Cameron, growing up there. So he's closer to home, and that has been a good fit for him and his family.
Comfort level.
2-2. That splitter again. It's chopped foul. He gets when he throws a splitter and hitters swing at it, his whiff percentage on that splitter is better than 1/3 of the time. And that's where he gets roughly 60% of his strikeouts. You see, Nick, he wanted to shake there, and now he'll throw fastball away.
Very good location, but the arsenal for Jorge is the split finger first. How many times do you see that from a starting pitcher? You might see it from a reliever, Bruce Sutter.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Maybe Mike
either.
Scott, but he still threw the fastball quite a bit. And that is a splitter in the dirt, so Maben works out a walk.
But that's evolved for Jorge, that split finger, throwing it more now than he did even to start the season. To start the season, he was a fastball, split, cutter, curveball pitcher.
So here's Freddie Freeman. He came back a few days ago, played in that Cubs series, 2 for 11 in the Cubs series for Freddie. He's got to look around that clubhouse, Huey, and say, what happened to all my boys?
Guys that I had played with last year, even to start the season.
You know, obviously it's been told many times, he grew up in baseball at the professional level with Jason Hayward. They were roommates, very, very close friends. Hayward's now with the Cardinals. First pitch, a strike on Freeman. Rockies put a shift on with 1 out, looking for 2. So the last time the Rockies were here was May of last season, and here was the starting lineup that particular day. Jason Hayward, well, we mentioned he's with the Cardinals now. Melvin Upton is with San Diego, as is his brother Justin. Evan Gattis with Houston. Chris Johnson was traded recently to Cleveland. Tyler Pasternak in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. So the only guys who are left are Freeman and Simmons, and Turan happened to be on the mound the last time the Rockies were here as well.
And Simmons is not in the lineup tonight. So Freddie's handing out hello and welcome cards. Hello, my name is.
Right. Like the first day of football practice, we had to put the tape on your helmet. So the coach knew who he was yelling at. Freddie, right after the Rockies series, there goes the runner, and Maben is out at second. What a throw. And it was Arenado covering. You don't see that much on a stolen base naturally of second. That's 2-5 on the caught stealing. Just the 6th time this year Maben has been cut down.
And the 22nd time that Nick has thrown out a runner. Got a good pitch to throw. It was up, so he didn't really have to stand up. It was more just of a transfer from the glove to the hand. And then the tag from Nolan on the old 2-5 put out at second base.
Did that get him? No, he was inside. Didn't matter. So ball 4. That's 2 walks for De La Rosa. You know, in the 6 shutout innings against Washington, the only troublesome thing for Jorge that had him shaking his head is he had 6 walks.
And that tied a season high for Jorge. The only other time was at May 10th against the Dodgers. He also had 6 walks.
Johnny Gomes at the plate with Freeman at first. Figured that curveball may come out a little bit more this evening. The Rockies out of altitude. He throws it about 6% of the time this year, but he's got a good curveball, and he likes to do it early in counts.
And you have humidity here, so you get a better grip. They just call the balk. Yeah, he was starting to come up, and he just lost his balance.
2-0. And Jorge's obviously a very emotional guy. We said that watching him through the years. He's done a much better job harnessing his emotions and wearing them on his sleeve all the time. But here in the first inning, he seems rather frustrated. Back-to-back walks. He does have 2 outs because of the caught stealing. Now runner in scoring position. Gomes with a 2-0 pitch.
Don't lose your focus to Johnny Gomes. 3 for 6 career versus De La, including a home run.
big that's a 2-run home run. Johnny Gomes now 4 for 7 against De La Rosa. That was a monster shot. His 6th of the year. 2-1 Atlanta.
Really was able to say it, don't lose your focus to Johnny Gomes, because this young man has some serious power. Wanted it down and in, but look where this pitch is. About mid-thigh, allowing him to get his arms through the baseball, and he knew it. He just dropped the bat, put his head down, and started jogging.
161st home run for Gomes in his career, so he's not unfamiliar at all with running around the bases. Christian Bethancourt fouls it off.
Too many times on that homestand was a walk involved before a hit, going on some extra runs. And tonight, 2 walks. You got 1 on the caught stealing, but Johnny followed it up with the home run to put him ahead 2-1. Just the extra base runners.
Fewest career at-bats to home runs versus the Rockies. Johnny Gomes has hit a home run every 9.8 at-bats against Rockies pitching. Trumbo, #1 on that list. Freddie Freeman's on there also.
Trumbo with his days down in Arizona.
0-2 on Bethancourt, the catcher. Boy, everything from De La Rosa is exhibiting anger right now. See, I snapped the glove on that return throw from Nick Hundley. Curveball, and that worked around the outside corner. De La Rosa not pleased with Larry Vanover.
That's why he's asking. Larry said it was out.
And that's the diplomatic way of doing it. He said, you know, he's rather saying where was that, or had you missed that? Certainly, he just said, was it up? Is that why he called it a ball? And actually, if you look on the forward strike zone, and we showed you a moment ago, that pitch actually was considerably up when it crossed the front edge of the plate. Goes back to it, and it's popped up shallow left. Jose Reyes will have it, and we've completed 1 inning. Charlie Blackmon a home run, Johnny Gomes a 2-run home run. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. By Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Capitol building in the beautiful city of Atlanta. Supposed to have great weather the next 3 days. With Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Braves lead 2-1 on the Gomes home run. Ben Paulson, who's from Georgia, will lead things off against Turan, and that pitch at the knees for a strike. Ben scuffling offensively a little bit for the first time since being called up a while ago. 4 for his last 34, and he's out on the front side. It's 0-2.
Really starting to mix up the pitches to Ben, whether it be a fastball and then following up with back-to-back changeups, elevating fastballs. That's where you have to make the adjustment as a hitter.
The court goes to the inside corner, and this ball is walloped to right, way back, and gone. That was flat crushed by Paulson. He left a slider in the middle of the plate. Ben just tied it up.
And that's how you make the adjustment. Throw a slider that's flat, you hit it out.
Home run number 10 for Paulson.
Charlie's was high and far. This one got out in a hurry. Ben run hard out of the box for 6 or 7 strides and says, I can shut it down.
How about the Georgia boys coming back home,
right
getting
out.
all their fans and their family who's attending the game?
I think they're right down below us to our right, because I can hear them screaming whenever that ball goes out.
Come on, DJ. You're now a Georgia kid also. Making his offseason home here. He and his wife.
Atlanta's allowed a home run in each of their last 8 games.
They allowed like 40 home runs in that 4-game series to the Cubs.
18.
Well, close.
18, 40, close.
Think about that.
5
18
yesterday,
home runs.
5 yesterday, 2 today.
We were talking to Chip Carey, longtime television broadcaster of the Braves, and he said virtually all the home runs that the Cubs hit were opposite field.
Chris Bryant had 2, Dexter had 1, Schwarber, Montero.
Whoa. Two balls, 2 strikes on DJ. 7 for 15 against the Braves this year. How about this? So the Mets activated David Wright. He hasn't played since April 14th. What do you think he did in his first AB?
Probably homered.
You're probably right.
That's what all-stars do.
And we discussed this yesterday, George and I, on the air. The Mets, and probably even David Wright himself, had no idea what they're going to get because he'd been out for so long. You're dealing with a back issue, and he goes deep in his first at-bat.
And minor league at-bats are different than big league at-bats and rehab assignments.
He's playing in Port St. Lucie. You have no idea.
A-ball. You had 800 to 1,000 fans a night. Maybe more because he's there. But if he wasn't, that's about all you'd get.
Well, the way Philly's been drawing lately, I guarantee you there's more Mets fans in Philadelphia. This is sharply hit, diving stop, and out at first base. Jace Peterson with a good play.
And I can count, it'd probably take 2 hands the number of times that DJ's been robbed on a base hit the last 2 or 3 ball games. I mean, you had the Wilmer Flores do it to a couple times, Tejada another time. And now you get Jace Peterson, who dives, rolled over onto that ball, but it didn't scoot far enough away to allow DJ to get to first. Peterson pounces on it and throws it from his knees sidearm to get DJ by a step.
Nice play by Peterson. Here's Nick Hundley. Nick's moved his average up to 304. His work on the weekend. OPS over 800, which is very good. He was 8 for 20 on that homestand, a 400 clip. One for 3 lifetime against Turan's got a 2-0 pitch, and Freddie Freeman will flip it to Turan, 2 outs. Who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more in any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. With 2 outs and a run in, that'll bring up Kyle Parker, another guy with local ties in that. Kyle grew up a little bit in Valdosta, Georgia area, which is southern Georgia, and then claims Jacksonville is really his hometown because Jacksonville, Florida is where he went to high school and was a big football, baseball star. Here's something you may not know about Kyle. Recruited by Clemson to play football and baseball, among others. He was one of those, it's kind of a new trend the last several years. He graduated high school in January so he could enroll in gray shirt at Clemson and go to spring football practice. So his senior year, he didn't play high school baseball.
Because he had to go learn the playbook.
Quarterback.
Everybody did. I mean, a lot of guys do that. Not everybody, but a lot of guys do in football. Also hit the weights. Hit the training tables.
2 balls and a strike on Kyle. Another fastball, and that's in there, 2-2. And Turan strikes out Kyle Parker to end the inning, but the Rockies get even. Ben Paulson got a 1-2 slider and ripped it. A couple solo home runs for the Rockies. Blackman and Paulson were tied at 2.
Playing center field in his hometown, hit a home run. Let's show you Charlie Blackmon from his days at Georgia Tech with the Yellow Jackets. Now, he originally went there as a pitcher, ended up playing the outfield, and I think what he called his 4th year there as a junior, something like that. And he played well, and the Rockies drafted him. And this is his sister, Katie. Is it great to see your brother play in person?
It's awesome, especially at Turner Field.
What was he like at Georgia Tech?
Well, he wasn't there for very long because he got picked up after his junior year. But at Georgia Tech, he, just suddenly decided to play outfield and was amazing at hitting. So
yeah, because he was a lefty pitching, and he said he threw 87. It was kind of a finesse pitcher. And the next thing you know, I think he played in a collegiate league in Texas.
He went to the Texas League, and his arm was a little strained, so he just started taking BP, and they just let him hit. So.
Next thing you know, he's a two-way player. He hits almost 400 at Georgia Tech and steals some bags, and that's what he's doing nowadays for the Rockies. Is this his club cargo on it? He's got it. How many tickets for the Blackman family for this series?
Well, that we made Charlie be responsible for only about 10. But we've got a big fan club over there on the third baseline.
I thought I saw some Charlie beards, did I?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We've got a lot of people from Swanee, where he grew up, that are sitting down there cheering for him.
So, Kate, also, by the way, guys, there's Chuck Nasty. She's Kate Nasty on Twitter. That's a great handle.
It's true. Charlie had a little something to do with that, so we thought it'd be funny.
Hey, Mark, would you ask her if she is thumbs up or thumbs down on the beard now?
Thumbs up or thumbs down with the beard? You still with it?
I'm still on board. I don't think he's allowed to shave it at this point.
You know, Ben Paulson shaved.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
working for him. He just hit a home run.
Well, right. They both have home runs. So you still say thumbs up on the beard?
I still say thumbs up.
Is Charlie always serious?
Is Charlie always serious? He seems to be serious often.
Oh, no. He's very goofy. You just got to catch him at the right time.
There's one hit to left. Parker comes in.
And Mark, that's a nice catch by Kyle Parker, because we're going to take advantage of this opportunity.
Okay.
We need dirt on Charlie.
Anything you can tell us about Charlie that we don't know?
That's not what I asked, Mark.
I'm not reveal that information. I'll tell you what.
See, Drew just asked if there's any dirt on him. I'm trying to be...
Don't be polite.
I'm
Just say, is there any dirt
her.
on her?
Well, I mean, what are you looking for? Let's get specific.
No, Katie was reluctant to come talk to me, although we've talked often.
Do you know what? Katie has a similar personality to Charlie.
Charlie does say Katie would be fine. I said, hey, how about Katie goes to one of your at-bats? He said, that would be great because she's funny.
I would enjoy that. I like to commentate on Charlie's hitting, so...
Oh, you know what?
Are you, Mark, is she a harsh critic on Charlie's?
Harsh critic, or are you Sister Fair?
I think I'm pretty friendly to him, really. Yeah.
He's having a great year.
Yeah, there's really nothing to be harsh about at the moment, so...
You still watching the games? Where do you work at? The burrito place? What's the name of it?
It's called the Raging Burrito.
Yeah. They're once in a while showing a Rockies game?
Yeah, if the Braves aren't playing, we can get the Rockies game right on.
I guess if you work this week, they'll be on.
They will. They're going to be on this week, so...
It is good to see you, Katie. Enjoy the time with the family and with Chuck here. It's got to be thrilling.
Thanks a lot. It is good. It's a good time.
All right, guys.
Hey, Mark, you know what? Give her an extra microphone. Let her, she could split duties with you tonight. She's pretty good.
Will you hang with me? He's due up second next inning. All right. Also, if you want to do sidelines this week, take over my job. No?
So I get to wear the shirt?
Yeah.
We have
purple,
extras.
black, and gray.
We have extras.
We have extras.
I look good in black.
All right, we're going to hang till Charlie comes up, guys.
Sounds good. All right. Katie, thanks. Mark, thank you. 2-2 right now with 2 outs on Pedro Soroka. She's got some pistol in her, huh?
She does.
And that's Charlie also.
But as she says, you got to catch Charlie at the right moment.
Yeah.
He's pretty laser-like focused when he's at the ball field.
Two ball game, 2 outs in the second. And De La Rosa's pitch is hitting the air to Charlie in right center. He dives, can't make the catch. And backing him up is Cargo. Great effort out there by Charlie. Did you see was there water out there?
No, sand.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, sand from the field. The grass here is very thin, so watch the sand kick up when he hits. Good reaction from his sister and Mark. The effort from Charlie was there, but the slicing of the baseball from Siriaco, that's what kept him from catching it. Right-handed batter will slice away from the center fielder.
Julio Teheran at the plate with 2 outs, hitting .077. Hit hard. DJ with quite a play. That was not easy.
Gold glove.
Wow, that was a terrific play. That ball was ripped by Teheran. It saved a run. Boy, he's got great hands. To the top of the third, Rockies fans. Join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts and photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Include the hashtag Toyota Talk. We'll get to some of your thoughts throughout the evening. 9-1-2 for the Rockies here in the third. De La Rosa, Charlie Blackmon, Jose Reyes. Get the commentary of Katie Blackmon when Charlie comes up. Charlie hit a home run in the first. And then leading off the second, Ben Paulson hit a home run. Johnny Gomes, a 2-run shot against De La Rosa. Here comes Jorge. Three hits this year for De La Rosa.
One of them was off Kershaw. Single back up the middle to drive in 2 runs.
He's got a good memory. Two of the three ribbies he has this year. Takes a strike, 1-1. That's inside, 2-1. De La with a 2-2 count. Outfield very shallow, shaded toward left, not surprisingly.
That's where they're pitching Jorge. Play him away, pitch him away.
Turan moves well off the mound. Good fielding pitcher. All right, 1 out, and here comes Charlie Blackmon. And for more analysis, we check in with Mark Stout and Katie Blackmon.
Katie, your brother's on the on-deck circle. What's he using?
So he's going through a little routine in his head right now.
What's he think?
He's like, do I try to intimidate this guy? Nah. I already hit a home run. Check.
Can we show his home run now? Yeah. What was it like when you were here watching it? You heard it? You saw it?
Oh, it was amazing. I thought it was going to go foul, but it stayed true. So we were kind of losing it back here all by ourselves.
And then he almost made a catch in the outfield, which you were going to call.
It was going to be epic. It was almost epic.
Okay. What do you think of that? So he's ahead.
We're going to let that one go.
Ball 1, stepping back in. And you pitched him in wiffle ball?
Yeah, it didn't go well. Here comes the second pitch. Oh, it's a strike.
Yes, he pitches, right?
Just feeling it out, feeling it out.
Didn't go well when you played wiffle ball?
No, it turns out I'm not very good at wiffle ball, so. Yeah, it's a little dinger. The pitcher's got it. He almost ran it out. It's out.
When I was in Little League, I called that a chug-a-bunt because you just swung as hard as you could and dribble it. You just called it a little what, dinger?
I called it a dinger. You know, like the dinosaur.
Yeah, of course. Katie, it's always great to see you. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the game with your family and friends. And it's good to see Chuck.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was good talking to you.
Drew, Jeff?
Yeah, tell Katie she's fired because when we didn't interview her, her brother hit one 400 feet. We do interview her, and he hit it 4 feet.
They fired you because when we didn't interview you.
Yeah, there was a home run.
Yeah, and then next to me, what do we got?
I'll do better next time.
We got a 10-footer, right? You know. Have fun.
Thank you.
She's great, Mark. Thanks. 2 outs, and Jose Reyes at the plate. He takes a strike. He's calling out dinger on the air.
That's right. Just a little. What'd you say? It was a little dinger down the third base line.
Okay. 1-1 on Reyes. He had a good homestand. Hit .353. Jose had the day off yesterday.
Sprayed the ball all over the ballpark. Had a couple home runs. One right-handed, one left-handed.
First two in a Rockies uniform. More baseball news. Former Rockies. Good news. Jolie Chacin was brought to the big leagues by the Diamondbacks, the surging Diamondbacks.
5 games back of the leading Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West. 5 games.
And the Dodgers have lost 5 in a row. Siriaco's called off by Gomes, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning for Turan. 2-2. For you to tweet your strongest fan photo, use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the order in the bottom of the third inning, Nick Markakis, Cameron Maybin, and Freddie Freeman to face Jorge De La Rosa. 3 home runs already in the ball game. 2 by the Rockies, Blackman and Paulson, and a 2-run shot in the first inning by Johnny Gomes. Markakis hit it on the ground to short, leading off in the first, and he takes ball 1.
You referenced in his first at bat the lack of power from Nick Markakis, just 2 home runs on the season. He had off-season neck surgery. That'll zap some strength and power from you, but he can still hit the ball all over the ballpark.
Yeah. Base hit from Markakis. Brought a .296 batting average into the ballpark tonight, and that'll bring up Cameron Maybin. Maybin walked his initial at bat. Braves has lost 7 in a row, all out on the road. In fact, on the road, the last couple of months, they have been flat miserable. Last 24 games out on the road, they are 2-22. A bit better at home. It'd be hard to be worse than that at home.
I think just 2 games over 500 at home during those 40 games, 9-7.
When they rolled into Denver, they were 1 game under 500. They're thinking, hey, we're going to be right around 500 heading into the All-Star break. Give us some momentum the second half. You know, has not worked out that way. And unfortunately, the Rockies were looking for momentum with the 4-game sweep heading into the All-Star break of Atlanta. That's a really good bunt. Just eat the baseball. That's all Nolan could do. A bunt single for Maben, and now there's 2 on for Freeman with nobody out. Smart play.
Smart but perfectly executed from Cameron Maben. Get the barrel out in front, bunt, then run, and that's exactly what he did. Had the high chop, and then it softened on the second bounce on the grass. The key for any bunter besides bunting and then running, which I always talk about, is really grab the bat very loosely in your hands. Don't grab it so hard, almost like the ball will knock it out of your hands. That's how you deaden it.
Freddie Freeman walked his first time up. And this ball's lined to deep right center, but Cargo is stationed there. And then he unloads a perfect throw to the cutoff man, Reyes, 1 out.
Are you currently a Rocky season ticket holder? Did you know you can get $500 off private suites? Call 303 Rockies to check availability today.
So Johnny Gomes at the plate. He went deep in the first, really deep to left. Looking around the ballpark, they're playing their Brave song with the chop going. I've been to parties at your house that were better attended.
This is, I mean, you got 20, 30 rows of empty seats.
You ever been to Marino's Christmas party?
I have.
It's like 3 times this.
Wall-to-wall people.
And some of them he even knows. At second base, Markakis, Maben at first. 4 hits for the Braves. It's in there for a strike. Remember when we were at home and the Braves were in town and Willie Rosario went up to you and he said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you get Johnny Gomes out of the Braves dugout?"
And I said, what did I say back to him? I said, "You can go up there. You're a big league ball player." He goes, no, go do that for me. I said, okay. So I walk over, talk to Johnny, said, "Hey, Willie wants to meet you." And he was gracious, came out. They spoke for about 5 minutes.
For Willie, that was one of his guys. And again, Johnny Gomes has been a good player. He's certainly not a superstar player, but Willie had always appreciated how he played. And he wanted to meet him. Had never met him before. Willie, by the way, down in Albuquerque. He had a torrid week a couple weeks back when he was the PCL Player of the Week. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. They say down here in Atlanta that today, for a lot of schools, was the first day of school, and that certainly would impact attendance. Some kids who play hooky, though, when the Yankees come to town, the parents will let them, huh?
1 or 2.
Held up, 2-2. We do finally check it out with Brian Knight. When there's that long a delay,
never
I have never seen a pitch called on a swing, a strike. Check swing.
Go back to the split. I would.
Well, again, he throws it more than a third of the time. That was a split. It was left up. Cargo down the right field line, hoping for a play. We'll have one at foul ground. Beautiful catch by Carlos Gonzalez.
He's perfected the art of catching a ball and sliding to stop from running into the wall.
I want to point something out as you watch this again. There's a new stat out there over the last several years. DRS, defensive run saved. And I wonder how a play like that is calculated, because that's an out that a lot of right fielders are not going to be able to record. So now there's 1 out. You have a your cleanup hitter up, and he's still at the plate. Now there's 2 outs, and you're out of the inning if you get Christian Bethancourt. That's a huge play.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a big play because now you're out of the inning. If you don't make it, they have a chance for a run.
The flip to second ends the inning, as we were talking about. 2 hits, 2 left on. We'll go to the 4th, tied at 2. Car you love. Yesterday, Carlos Gonzalez provided the Rockies with their entire offense with 1 swing of the bat. Home run to dead center, his 30th of the year. The Rockies, unfortunately, did not score after that. They lose 5-1, but that's our big hit presented by Mako. How about this? Teams with 2 25-plus home run hitters this year. The Rockies have 2 30-30 guys. It's Nolan and Carlos. The Yankees with Teixeira and A-Rod. Pujols and Trout are in that 30-30 grouping. Donaldson, 34 home runs, having an MVP type of season for surging Toronto. Jose Bautista with 29. Chris Davis really come on as well. Manny Machado with 25. Here's Cargo. He had a line shot to right center field. Off the bat, I thought it was going to be a double, but Markakis is shaded toward that gap in right center field.
And he got a good jump on the baseball.
That's off the plate, 2-0. Cargo leads the big leagues in home runs since the All-Star break with 17. Boy, did he have a rip there. The club record in the second half is 27 by Dante. So that is entirely possible to be matched by Carlos or broken. Tonight, game number 123. So including tonight, you got 40 left to hit 10 home runs. The way he was going in July, he was hitting 2 a night, where so it seemed.
I still think back to that ball he hit out against Jonathan Neese in New York to left center field. That one might be the best one that he hit. Up short on that at bat.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Turan. That'll bring up Arenado. He struck out on a 2-2 slider his first time up. Nolan hit 375 over his last 10 ball games, including 3 home runs. He's driven in 11 in those 10 encounters. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check this out. This is all-time slugging percentage on the road for Rocky. Now, Walker won an MVP, and rightfully so, in '97 with a slugging percentage of .733 as Nolan grounds out to Jace Peterson. Helt in 2000 and 2001 high slugging percentages. Brad Hopp had that great season in '06. Big Cat in the early years. And Nolan with a .558 road slugging percentage. Outstanding.
18 home runs out on the road.
Cargo has pretty good balance also. Cargo of his 30 home runs, 17 at home, 13 out on the road. Ben Paulson a home run in his first at bat on a slider. 8 in a row have been set down since Ben went deep by Turan. And that's back up the middle. Ben Paulson 2 for 2. Kept his hands back long enough on that off-speed pitch, didn't he?
He hit the slider out for a home run. Trying to entice him to reach for this. Another one that was, this one was away though from Ben. And once the guy got by Julio, he knew where Peterson was playing, there was going to be a base hit. That's always a wonderful feeling. When you hit the ball, you're just running that first step out of the box. And you know the only person that can make that play is a pitcher, and it gets by him, and you kind of like, whew,
got a hit.
I got a hit.
Paulson hit a slider for a home run, a curveball for a base hit. Here's DJ. Paulson's slugging percentage of .468, his 4th among National League rookies this year. Fouled off. That gets back.
Three games here in Atlanta give DJ a chance to sleep in his own bed for a few nights.
Three balls and a strike. Rockies last 18 games played down here, 3 wins, 3 and 15 at Turner Field. Haven't won a series here since 2005. 3 and 2.
Full count, give Ben a chance to get an extra few steps. Ball hitting the left center field gap. A lot of room there. Cameron Maybin's playing a far opposite field gap. Well, that's where DJ likes to hit it, but if he hangs a slider, he can pull it. You can schedule a group outing at Coors Field. Get discounts and scoreboard recognition when you bring your group of 25 or more to the ballpark. Call 303 Rockies or go online to Rockies.com/groups. Get your group on.
Paulson off with the pitch, and the 3-2 is hit in the air to fairly deep right field. Backpedaling is Markakis. He makes the catch, and that ends the 4th inning. Middle of 4, the Rockies and Braves tied at 2. All right, Jenny, thank you. For the Cubs, that whole NL Central, Cubs, Pirates, Cardinals.
Cubs are 21 games above 500.
I think they're a little ahead of the curve in terms of when they thought they were going to be really good.
I think they're a lot ahead of where they thought.
Yeah, I think you're probably more accurate with that statement. Jace Peterson at the plate, 0-1. Peterson out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Driven through Lake Charles.
So have I.
On the way to Houston from New Orleans.
I've done it the other way, where I've been driving down to spring training in Florida on that route.
Yeah. Covering a Super Bowl in New Orleans, couldn't fly out of New Orleans, had to go to Lake Charles to leave. 0-2. Freddie Gonzalez really likes this kid. He's a hard-nosed kid. Plays football, Freddie says, plays baseball with a football mentality. The way Freddie described Jace Peterson.
Freddie, ninth season as manager for Atlanta, was a bench coach for Bobby Cox, and Bobby thinks the world of him.
Well, they were very, very close, but pretty much hand-picked once Bobby retired. And again, he and his staff retained through next year. I don't think you could put this record on Freddie Gonzalez. They lost 5 key guys right after the All-Star break to trades or to injury. Jason Grilli blew out his Achilles in strike 3, blew out his Achilles in Denver coming off the mound. And then you had Uribe and Kelly Johnson traded to the Mets. Jim Johnson was traded away.
They also traded Craig Kimbrell at the end of spring training.
Before they even played game 1.
So we lose that stability in the bullpen.
That's the first strikeout for De La Rosa. Adonis Garcia takes a big swing out in front. Ball's well hit to center field. Really well hit. Charlie going back. Is going to run out of room. Adonis Garcia with his 5th home run of the year. And that puts Atlanta out in front again, 3-2. 4 home runs in the ball game combined.
I said this kid had some power. On display with this home run to dead center field. Like a split finger that acted like a slider because it didn't have the big bend on it like his curveball would. Garcia went down and golfed it out to center.
Pedro Siriaco's at the plate. He doubled his first plate appearance.
A moment ago I said Freddie Gonzalez, 9 years. That's 9 years total managing, 5th for the Atlanta Braves, 4 with the Marlins.
Freddie knows Walt well. Freddie was in player development in the minor leagues. That's fair. And look at that. Not even close. How about Nolan?
On a nightly basis, he does something that you stand in disbelief. And another one, he is a good 5 to 7 feet in foul territory when he lets go of this baseball. 1, 2 steps, and then he turns his body. The hardest part about that throw, when you're that far away as a third baseman, is to make sure that you get those hips turned into the throw and then make it on the money.
Duran takes ball 1. That is not, for anybody else, first of all, that short hop that he picked up on the backhand side was not easy. and then the arm strain, and then it's not even a close play.
Throws him out by 3 steps. So you get the backhand, short hop. Okay, that's tough going number 1. And then the turn and the spin and the throw all in one motion. And where Ben's just waiting for it to come. Here, hurry up, ball. Just get here. I got him.
3-0 on Turan. Look at this angle of it.
I just like the first step quickness that he exhibits. Yeah. Go ahead and chalk up another Gold Glove.
A walk to Turan on 4 pitches. That's 3 walks allowed. The last guy you want to walk.
And all those players that are on the fielding percentage for National League third baseman, they do not exhibit the range of Nolan. You talk about defensive run save, DRS. This year he's at 15 run save. Over the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, he's been one of the best as far as DRS.
Well, DRS, defensive run saved. He and Andrelton Simmons of the Braves, who's not playing tonight at shortstop, who's made only 4 errors all year. They are the 2 best in baseball.
And that's a hard one to look at, because sometimes pitching staffs are different. You're not going to get as many chances as maybe some other guys. But just watching these guys, I would have thought the number might have been a little bit higher, because they save so many runs. They make plays that other guys don't even get to.
Again, and I don't, to be fair, I don't understand. I've read it, you've read it,
yeah.
How they determine. But we watch every night. He saves a whole bunch of runs. The Braves watch Andrelton Simmons every night. He saves a bunch of runs.
He has 4 errors. Simmons has 4 errors on the season.
Yep. It's kind of like Omar Vizquel territory. Omar played 162 games, have 3 errors at shortstop. Kidding me? Nick Markakis, and this is a 2-hopper to DJ, who saves a lot of runs himself. In the inning, Adonis Garcia goes deep over the center field wall. The Braves have a 3-2 lead.
This inning, and it's a pleasure to introduce everybody to his parents. This is Carl and Kathy. And Kathy, you were saying about how many people do you have here at the game tonight?
I think we have about 50 people there all in left field behind where Kyle's playing.
It's kind of neat to stand behind him when he's playing left.
There you go.
So tell me about Kyle in high school when he was playing baseball and football.
Well, he loved both, and people would always say, well, which one is he going to choose? And he never wanted to make a decision. It was whatever season it was his favorite. And, of course, he went off to college, where he could play both. That was always in the deal, that he could play both. And then, things started changing. And, when he got drafted by the Rockies in the first round, that helped him make his decision on what he was going to do.
Carl, this is the first time you've been able to see him play in a big league game?
No, we had a chance whenever he made his debut out in L.A. last year. We had a chance to fly out there, but it's a little special being back here in Atlanta. You know, you look up and see the banner there with all the years. That was the years that we were growing up down in Jacksonville. Chipper Jones was at Bowles, where I was coaching at the time. So, you know, just a big affinity for being here in Turner Field and kind of special. I remember, you know, us coming to BP, and there's an area out in left field where you can drop down behind. And they got in trouble when they were about 8 or 9 for jumping down in there and getting home run balls.
Kyle was doing that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you played football at Vanderbilt and in the NFL. Also baseball as well?
Played a little bit of baseball, but primarily nowhere near as gifted as Kyle in the baseball arena.
Was it a difficult decision for him to choose between the two sports?
Absolutely. You know, it's always been, and he really did a great job of just season to season throwing the bag away and making sure that he was ready to do the next thing. But I think he always felt like his skill set fit him with baseball.
He was a quarterback at Clemson. You were a wide receiver at Vanderbilt and with the Cincinnati Bengals. Did he ever throw a lot of passes to you just, you know, growing up?
Well, I was his offensive coordinator, and we watched a lot of film together. So, you know, the thing was more just learning the game, and he's just such a student. You talk to Coach Sweeney, and a lot of people don't realize, we were talking about Peyton Manning earlier, just the ability to slow the game down in your head. And that's one of the things that Kyle really was special at, I felt like.
Sweeney is still the coach at Clemson, I know that. Is it a thrill for you just to see him come up and play in the outfield?
Absolutely. You know, it's a dream come true for him. And, of course, you know, we're so proud of him and just all of his hard work over the years because he's had to work hard to get to this level.
Yeah, baseball it's an interesting sport when it comes to that, isn't it?
Well, and it's just the mental strain that comes with it, really being able to focus through some things that are difficult. And I think that's a thing that you just never realize till you get into the situation.
He's going to step to the plate. What goes through your mind when he gets in the batter's box?
I pray. That's what mamas are supposed to do, right?
How much did you, I'm sure you guys talked baseball growing up as well.
We did, but I tell people over and over, I think it's one of the special things. He gets greater instruction from a lot more qualified people than me, and I just try to be a dad and encourage him and tell him that, you know, he's very gifted and talented, and he just has to believe in himself.
Well, Drew and Jeff, we're going to watch this AB as he takes a strike on the first pitch, and you guys can call it. We're going to watch it.
0-2 as Kyle swings through that breaking ball. You know, I'm sure it helps a great deal having a dad that not only understands baseball but understands professional sports and the up and down nature of being a professional athlete. Kyle lines this, stay fair. It is a foul ball.
It hit on the lip of the dirt in the grass. A mere 4 or 5 inches from being right on the line. Most clubs will cut that line even with the grass or the dirt, depending on, I should say the dirt, so you don't have to worry about any grass being there. Try to change the eye level on the fastball.
Didn't chase, so it's 1-2. 1 out in the Rockies half of the 5th. De La Rosa on deck. Big gap in left center field for Kyle. And this ball's in the air to right. Markakis has it.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Can you just ask him real quick, do they get more nervous watching him play baseball or football?
All right, more nervous watching Kyle play baseball or football? You go first.
I would say probably football.
In live person, probably football. You know, baseball is one of those games. It's the stretch. It's the long haul over it. You just try to put 10 games together and go, what's it going to be? Not as much pressure, you know, immensely right there the way it is with football.
You ever watch him get run down by a defensive lineman and be like...
Of course, yeah. You just, when you're praying that it gets up and everything works. So.
Well, so far so good. Great to meet you guys. Enjoy the time here in Atlanta with Kyle.
Thank you.
Drew, Jeff?
All right, Mark, thank you. Yeah, you know, I figured Mom definitely would say football because, not that dads don't worry about their sons getting hurt playing football, but I think that's what moms think of right away. And, you know, Dad went there also, but he had to think about it for a second because we all know, being dads of guys who play baseball and the pain of.
That's why I had to ask, because I kind of thought that the answer would be what it is. But when he was at Clemson, he racked up some pretty impressive touchdown numbers. 32 TDs, over 4,700 yards.
He set records as a freshman. I mean, you're talking about major college football. He rolls in there and is starting as a freshman.
Well, that gray shirt, getting that extra half a year, learning the playbook helped. But you have to have the talent to play at that level.
Nice job by Jorge. Yeah, you know, we talk all about recruiting, but when you get to that level, they're selecting.
They're asking you, not you asking them.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people, I'll go play for you. Well, you're not quite good enough, son.
Yeah, sure you'd like to play here, but we're looking elsewhere. Siriaco throws out De La Rosa. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Turan. So Turan's really settled in since giving up that solo home run to Ben Paulson in the second. Braves lead 3-2, middle of 5. Fusion, power you want, and good looks too. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. City of Atlanta on a Monday night. The Rockies trailing the Braves 3-2. Braves have lost 7 straight. The Rockies were swept by the Mets over the weekend. Cameron Maybin is going to lead things off here in the 5th inning for the Braves. Maybin 1 for 1 and a walk. Had a bunt single last time up. Something must have happened with Cargo. He's out of the ball game. Brandon Barnes is now in right field.
You wonder if it was on that sliding catch.
Remember, the knee caused him some inflammation in the right knee, not a surgically repaired knee. His other knee forced him to leave a ball game last week in the middle of the game.
If memory serves me, it was his right knee that he slid on down the line. Good
curveball, and that's ripped down the line past Arenado. And Maben will take those long strides and stop at second base with a leadoff double.
Take a look back at this Cargo catch. See, he slides it. A lot of force and body landing on that right leg.
Not in the dugout. It's gone underneath to be looked at, evidently. And again, we are speculating that it's the knee. Freddie Freeman at the plate. Freddie a walk and a line drive to Cargo in right.
Freddie's missed a lot of games this year with various ailments, one being a wrist, the other an oblique.
Great numbers with folks in scoring position. And a ground ball to Paulson, 1 out. That moves Maben. Johnny Gomes coming up with every challenge call. The Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Stu Cole directing traffic, telling the infielders how he wants them to play it. He wants them to play it in. Papers he's holding in his hands, that has the scouting reports. So keep coming in.
They just moved Reyes a couple of steps toward the hole with Gomes, more of a pull hitter. There's a strike on Johnny. This is what he did in the first inning.
Thigh-high fastball. There's no doubt for Johnny Gomes.
Maben at third. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's a base hit up the middle, and it's now 4-2 as Gomes has driven in 3 of the 4. He had only 17 RBIs coming in.
Now he's got 5 RBIs in his career against Jorge. Pitch out, he just serves it back up the middle. That's a team RBI because you had the leadoff double from Cameron Maben, the rollover by Freddie Freeman to advance Cameron, and then the base hit.
Bethancourt fouls that.
The balk.
He called another balk, said he didn't pause.
Second balk tonight. Brian Knight said, no, you didn't stop. That's why he called it. Jorge said he did. Let's see.
Got to be a definitive pause.
You know what?
What was wrong with that?
It was borderline.
I thought he came to a stop.
Enough of a pause. It wasn't a drive-through. It wasn't a stop and go.
De La Rosa has been frustrated by a number of things tonight. He's been mad at himself part of the evening. Pitches where he missed location. One out, Gomes at second. Christian Bethancourt, who was up earlier in the year, was doing all right hitting, but they weren't thrilled with how he was catching. So he was sent down to Gwinnett County, which is not far away. And they said, listen, you're not coming back until you clean things up defensively. Your first priority's got to be handling the pitching staff.
And they told him as much. They said, this is what you have to do. If you don't do it, you're going to stay down in Gwinnett. The last 6 weeks is an audition for him to see what he learned, but also for the Braves to determine if they need to go get somebody else.
And this is fouled off by Bethencourt. He's a big kid. He's out of Panama, 6'2", about 220 pounds.
61 major league games at 223. This year Gwinnett at 327.
And this is in the air to deep center field. Charlie will have a play. He'll make the catch. And moving up is Gomes, 2 outs.
Coors Field is available year-round for special events, and most areas of the ballpark can be reserved. Call 303-ROCKIES for more information.
Rockies, by the way, made it official a little before the ball game. Chad Bettis will start tomorrow for the Rockies. They activated him to make room on the roster. David Hale was optioned to AAA Albuquerque. So Chad Bettis returns tomorrow. Look forward to that.
I talked to Chad in the dugout today. I said, how you feel? You ready to go? He was so over the top, saying, I'm ready. I can't wait.
There's Bettis.
Start the long rehab process. You shut down for a few days, then you start the throwing program to go out on your rehab.
Line to left, Parker's there, and that will end the inning as Peterson lines out. Cameron Maybin doubled, would come around on a Johnny Gomes base hit. Atlanta now leads 4-2. From Charlie Blackmon leading off the game. 2-run home run in the first from Johnny Gomes gave Atlanta the lead. Ben Paulson led off the second, tying it up with a home run. Cargo's departed in the bottom of the fifth. We have not heard yet from the Rockies clubhouse as to why. The Braves have tacked on a couple more. They've out-hit the Rockies 7-3. It's 4-2 as we go to the sixth inning, and Charlie will leading off in the 6th. The home run and a comebacker against Julio Teheran. Teheran, a 24-year-old from Colombia. Last year, Teheran, through 221 innings, had a 2.89 ERA and winning 14 ball games. This year, the ERA has jumped to 4.32. And the biggest reason, I think, Huey, when you look at his numbers, I'm trying to figure out what the difference is. Last year, he walked 52 guys the whole year. He's walked 53 already this year.
Adding extra guys, that's why his whip this year is higher. Still a very respectable, right at the major league average at 133, just a little bit higher than a major league whip. Still is giving up less hits and innings pitched.
Yeah.
Strikeouts were up last year.
You've heard the name Teheran for a while, but he got to the big leagues at 20.
And now just 24.
Jose Reyes with 1 out. Teheran has allowed only 1 hit, 1 base runner since the leadoff home run by Paulson in the 2nd, and that was a Ben Paulson hit in the 4th with 2 outs. He retired 8 straight at one point, and now he's retired 5 in a row. Reyes is 0 for 2. This ball's well hit to right, but it's going to turn foul. Teheran with a strikeout of Reyes. That's his 4th strikeout. Getting ahead of hitters. So now Brandon Barnes will hit where Cargo was hitting. Cargo lined out and struck out in his 2 at-bats. Brandon Barnes last half inning taking over in right field. Strike on Barnes. First time he's ever faced Julio Teheran.
Teheran getting the baseball right back up on the bump.
Yeah, he's
starting
firing on all cylinders right now. He's got command of all of his pitches.
He's starting to feel it. That when the pitcher gets in that rhythm, you have to try to do something to slow him down.
His 90th pitch, a slider's popped up to shallow right, and Markakis makes the catch. It's a quick inning. 8 pitches for Teheran. Middle of 6, 4-2 Atlanta. See how they maintain the best field in baseball. Billy will also talk to them about how they've weathered over 24 hours of rain delays this season. Plus, we'll hear from the Rockies players on what makes Coors Field's playing surface tops in the game. That's all Friday after the game on Rockies Real Time. They let Spilly drive that thing. He barely has a license.
He said he had to go real slow. They were making sure that everything was okay. But he'll be remembered for this walk-off grand slam against
6 years
San
ago.
Francisco.
Yeah, this 6 years ago tonight. Spilly's probably at home recreating that.
He's got it on infinite loop.
Every television.
Every television in the house. He's put the kids to bed to it.
Stacy, you have our permission. You can leave the house now. You don't have to watch that anymore. Special night. That was a special evening. Cutters inside on Adonis Garcia, who homered to center field his first time up.
But you're going to have to watch
or
that.
Second time up, I should say.
Yeah, watch that special. There's Spilly talking about that game. But watch that special about Ryan on the grounds crew. You can pick him out pretty easily. He's the only guy that has different color shoes than everybody else. Everybody else has black shoes on that. Out on the grounds crew. What does Spilly wear? These neon green shoes. So you could pick him out easier.
Wanted to stand out, didn't he?
No, he said he had a hoot doing that. He said a lot of hard work. He had blisters the next day on his hands. He forgot to wear batting gloves.
That was the first thing he showed me. He didn't give me a fist bump. He didn't shake hands. He didn't pat me on the back. He comes up to me and he shows me his hand. Shoved it in my face. Look, blisters.
Blisters.
Hard ground ball. There's Reyes, and he'll throw out Garcia. Swung on and missed. Pedro Siriaco. The Braves went out and they made a couple of moves that I think at face value everybody around baseball, maybe even some Braves fans initially, are saying, well, why would we do that?
Myself included. I know which trade you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you here. There's a bunt attempt. De La Rosa's got to go quick, safe at first. Siriaco can run, and he beats it out. Second bunt single of the game for a Braves player. Cameron Maben had one earlier.
This time, Siriaco drops it out. Almost like a pitching wedge where you hope it spins back. A lot of golf ball, they used to have those where it spin back on the green. That checked back away from De La Rosa. And Siriaco outran the baseball.
Julio Teheran at the plate. He walked his last time up, trying to bunt here. .81 pitches in for De La Rosa with one out in the sixth inning. 4-2 Atlanta. It's a good bunt. DJ got back on the bag. Fortunately, DJ 6'4" has got long reach. Two gone. Zach puts Siriaco in scoring position for Nick Markakis. All right, well, Freddie Freeman, we know, has missed a lot of games. As Jeff was explaining, he had a wrist injury earlier, then the oblique injury, just came back a few days ago. What we were discussing was the trade for Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne. It was the Chris Johnson deal. And you say, well, why would they do that? Because Swisher's owed $15 million next year. Bourne is owed $14 million, I believe, next year. They both have team options the following year for big numbers. The reason is that Chris Johnson has 2 more years on a very lucrative deal. Cleveland did pitch in to handle Swisher and Bourne this year. Atlanta will be on the, they'll be on, it'll be all Atlanta's next year in terms of the funding of those 2 deals. You look at Michael Bourne. But going into 2017, when they open up the new ballpark, they're going to have a whole lot of money potentially to spend.
So instead of Cleveland more front-loaded, Atlanta's more back-loaded. They get rid of it, and they don't have to worry about it when they move into the new stadium. To get those off the books.
Right. That was the thinking. And that's with all due respect to 2 guys who've been really good players in the league, and Michael Bourne and Nick Swisher.
Yeah, but Atlanta's more in the transition stage.
They are. They're young on the hill. They're really young in the bullpen now. But some of their position players, because of the addition of Swisher and Bourne, are older. This is line to left, and that is going to work out for Atlanta. Here comes Siriaco with the 5th Braves run. Nick Markakis with his 47th RBI. Well, a team that typically doesn't produce much on offense has had a pretty solid ball game tonight. 5 runs here in the 6th inning. He came into the ball game, Jeff, last in baseball in slugging and OPS.
And last in runs. They're not scoring anything. 2 base hits for Nick Markakis have come to left field. Had a seeing eye base hit between short and third, and now this one, it's more of a line drive down to the left field corner.
Cameron Maybin's had a perfect day. A walk, a bunt single, and a double. Cutter's in there for a strike. Maybin has moved his average up to 280 with his performance this evening. 10 home runs. He's driven in 52. He's got a career high in home runs and RBIs. He's a career 246 hitter coming into this season. Shattered, and Nolan's going to have to fire it across, and he does, to end the inning. That stabs the ground. Right now, Atlanta with a 5-2 lead after producing another run here in the 6th. It's good news for Jhoulys Chacín. Texas making that move, Huey. They made some moves during the trade deadline. This ball to deep short. Siriaco is going to get Nolan by a step.
The big one was getting Cole Hamels positioning themselves for next year.
Houston tried to get Cole Hamels. They ended up with Scott Kazmir. Wasn't exactly the booby price. Kazmir's pitched well. 1 out. Ben Paulson has had a good game offensively. A home run and a single. He has 2 of the Rockies' 3 hits. Rockies have been out hit 9-3 tonight by Atlanta.
Texas has leapfrogged the Angels for second place in the AL West.
Angels have taken on some water.
Talking about the Rangers looking towards next year. They think, well, if there's a slide by Houston at all, they can sneak in.
Fouled off by Paulson, 2-2. Ben's dad, Jack Leggett, in June was let go as the Clemson head baseball coach after 24 years there. That miss. He had been an institution. They went to a number of College World Series. Of course, Ben played there for his dad. And a walk. Parker obviously played with Ben for Coach Leggett. 1 out, 1 on. First walk issued tonight by Tehran, and that'll bring up DJ. Hey, the day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. (5-2) Atlanta. DJ just keeps hitting into hard luck. He smoked that ball, but it was right at Chase Peterson. 2 outs.
Chase Peterson robbed DJ in the second inning. Didn't have to move for that line drive in the 7th. Next pitch, number 100 for Tehran, and you see Gonzalez Germain warming up. Tehran, 68 strikes, just 31 balls.
Hundley fouls off a slider. Nick is 0 for 2. Ground ball to first and a comebacker. Rockies 22-37 out on the road, 2-5 on their last road trip. Took them from Washington to Queens to take on the Mets. That's out of play. Six-game winning streak against the Braves on the line. De La Rosa pitching very well in the month of August, but he's given up 5 runs tonight in 6 innings.
I think his 4 starts in August. He'd only given up 7 earned runs coming into tonight's game.
Tehran strikes out Hundley. 5th strikeout from Tehran. He has rolled throughout the evening. Other than a couple of solo home runs. 5-2 Braves. T-Mobile. Here's Travis Harrison at the ballpark with little man. Good looking picture. 5-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 7th inning with Jeff Houston and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. De La Rosa continuing on. At least for the first hitter, Freddie Freeman will lead it off. And then a couple of right-handed bats in Johnny Gomes and Christian Bethancourt.
Well, maybe you can get Jorge through this whole inning.
Yeah, looking at the pitch count, I thought it was a little higher than that. So I would agree with you. Walt would like to see him get through 7 innings.
At least do up second at the top of the 8th.
Yeah, regardless, this will be it. Rockies started fast. Solo home run in the first from Charlie Blackmon. Solo home run from Ben Paulson in the second. But since then, Tehran has allowed 1 hit and 1 walk in the ensuing 5 innings. Freeman out front.
And then the Braves have added 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. The last 2 of the manufactured variety. Get the guy over in the scoring position and then drive him in. The last half inning was with 2 outs.
Speed pitches inside. 2-1. That ball's line foul.
Guess what it hit, Drew? An empty seat.
Shocking.
Empty row.
We got a great picture we're going to share with you here in a moment. Jeff's got a little story for everybody. Here's the 2-2 on Freeman. Good pitch. That fell off the table. Looked like a splitter. 1 out in the 7th inning. Here's that picture.
Well, this was yesterday in Chicago. You see, are those Braves players or just people dressed up? No, they're actual. The rookie.
It's not Halloween.
It is not Halloween. It was part of the plan from Freddie Freeman and Johnny Gomes to send guys across the street to the Starbucks to get them their morning coffee. And so they were standing up. Johnny was. He had a megaphone and he was yelling across the street into this Starbucks, yelling at all the fans that were walking by, telling them what was happening. Watch these guys bring us back our coffee.
That's classic.
That's one of the best ones I've heard.
That is a really good one. You know, through the years, it's the time of year, usually toward the last road trip or two, where it's rookie initiation that all the rookies have to wear on the plane. You know, dress up as, you know, giant babies or that sort of thing, but they got to walk into the team hotel that way, wear pajamas, kids type of pajamas, all kinds of things like that. That was a good one.
Well, and Johnny said, they were asking about it afterwards. He said, when you're sitting around the campfire and you're telling stories, you're gonna run out of some stories to tell about the double you hit off of so and so. He goes, but you're not gonna ever run out of that story. People will want to hear that. What was it? One of those weird rookie things that you had to do? Well, we had to go across the street in Chicago to the Starbucks and pick up coffee for all the veterans.
We know that Starbucks well.
we frequent that one right across the street.
That's right.
Just outside the front entrance.
1-2 on Johnny Gomes. You remember, were you hazed a little bit?
Just a little. Not bad, though. Just had to...
Good pitch. De La Rosa back-to-back strikeouts.
Just wear an older suit.
How old?
Just like the 1960s style. Well, it wasn't bad at all. It was easy.
Did you play in the 60s?
I knew that was coming. No. I got off easy.
Did you participate in the hazing of players once you became a veteran?
I helped some with some clothing choices. I'll leave it at that.
You'll leave it at that,
yes.
Okay. I imagine they weren't male.
No, they were. They were. Yeah, it was just different styles.
Okay. 1-0 on Christian Bethancourt. One ball, one strike. We have our official attendance tonight. Drum roll, please. 13,920. Now they've averaged about 22,000 this year, or 25,000 I should say, which is 12th in the National League. The Rockies are 6th in the National League in average attendance. A little more than 32,000 a night.
Or Tampa Bay. Just over 14,000 a night. They haven't even drawn 1 million fans.
They need a new stadium. Said that for a long time. That was the 100th pitch right there. It's 3-1 on Bethancourt, who's 0 for 3. And ball 4. Fourth walk allowed by Jorge. Jace Peterson 0 for 3. Line out, a strikeout, and another line out. He's lined out to right and left.
Just 8 for his last 58 at the plate. 138 batting average.
Bouncer over Paulson, back to Paulson from DJ. That's a 3-4-3 put out at first. How do you like that?
2 tall guys involved. Off the glove. First, Ben Paulson, DJ backing him up. Another spectacular play.
You heard Drew talking about how he's good friends with Darren Holmes because of their ties to Asheville, North Carolina. Before the game, I got a chance to take a photo and tweet the two out. Just kind of catching up here near the Rockies dugout. Darren Holmes, by the way, ended his career with the Braves. He didn't play in 2001, but then was with Atlanta in 2002 and 2003. Here's why.
I had back surgery, so I had a fusion done in my back, and I actually thought my career was over. And I came back and was coaching high school baseball. Actually, was coaching Cameron Maven at that time, and I just started feeling better. So I came down to the tryout for the Braves, and if I could play for these guys, I would have stayed. In baseball, it was close to home, and so they took me to spring training. I made a team out of spring training, so I played 2 more years.
Next thing you know, Drew and George, she's setting up for John Smoltz, who was closing at the time and playing on a couple of teams that won 100 games in 2002, 2003, and then he wrapped things up with his career.
Yeah, Darren had a heck of a career. I mean, you talk about a bulldog when he took the baseball. That was Darren Holmes.
Big curveball, too.
This ball is lined to left, and it's grabbed out there by Johnny Gomes. So Kyle Parker lines out, 1 out in the 8th inning. And it looks like Matt McBride's going to pinch hit.
The rooftop is a place to be during baseball season. Arrive early for pregame festivities and beer specials before first pitch.
Double-barreled action in the Braves bullpen. Vizcaíno is their closer now. Detweiler, perhaps for Charlie Blackmon if somebody reaches. Well, McBride just reached. Let's see. With 1 out, a 3-run lead. If Freddie wants the left-hander, and he does. Well, he got a great start out of Julio Teheran.
Sure,
he's used to seeing that, particularly at home. Teheran goes 7 1/3, and he allows just 4 hits and 1 walk. And a sparse crowd standing in appreciation as Teheran walks off. Lead for the Braves, or Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The work of Teheran. Again, he gave up a home run to Charlie Blackmon leading off the game, and then the next inning he gave one up to Ben Paulson, but after that he was outstanding. There's a lot of strikeouts with the slider. He got one there with the fastball. 5 strikeouts in all. Again, he just allowed 5 base runners, 4 hits and a walk. Matt McBride just singled against him, and Ross Detweiler is now aboard to face Charlie Blackmon here with 1 out in the 8th inning. And Michael Bourne has come in as well.
They go for the defense, taking over for Johnny Gomes in left field, and bring the left-hander Ross Detweiler to face Charlie. Signed with Atlanta back on July 17th after being designated for assignment by the Rangers. 18th game of the season.
Good bunt, and that'll be a base hit. It's interesting. I think Garcia came and he said, well, it's not going foul. I'm going to pick it up. And by the time he made that decision, he might as well just let it roll.
I thought I could hear Bethancourt saying, let it go foul.
There's no way he was going to throw him out. So it's a bunt single for Charlie, which is a really smart play because now you bring up the tying run. So Detweiler gets 1 pitch, and Freddie Gonzalez is going to take the baseball from him. You know, the angle of that may have gone foul.
It was on the cut of the grass and rolling towards the outside.
We'll talk about that when we come back. 2 on for the Rockies, making a threat here in the 8th.
Charlie Blackmon, he laid down a beautiful bunt towards the third baseline, and off the bat he said it's going to stay fair. Well, then it looked like it might be going foul, but Garcia decided to pick it up and try to fire it to first to get Charlie. Yeah, I think if he lets that ball go, it's going to go foul, but you take whatever breaks you can get, and now you're bringing the tying run to the plate in Jose Reyes, and he'll be facing Edwin Jackson.
I'll tell you something about Edwin Jackson. Very talented guy. He's got a big arm. He's made a lot of money in baseball. He's making $13 million right now. He's signed by the Braves about 10 days ago. Asked for his release from the Cubs earlier this year. Now working out of the bullpen for a long time, obviously a starting pitcher. Edwin Jackson has a career ERA of 11.37 against the Rockies. That's the highest of any pitcher against Colorado that's pitched at least 20 innings. Jose Reyes with 1 out against Jackson. And it's right back to Jackson.
Thank you very much.
He just, instead of trying to turn 2, he went to first.
And you can hear the catcher, Bethancourt, yelling 2. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. That's 2 plays now. You're still in this ball game.
You get a base hit, it's a 1-run game. This is inexplicable. This is tailor-made for 2, even with Reyes running. He's hit pretty hard.
The catcher's yelling 2. He's pointing with his glove to second base.
It's almost as if he thought there were 2 outs when he came in. And you see him punch his glove. He realizes now.
Take it.
Brandon Barnes at the plate, his second at bat. Cargo had to leave. with soreness in his right knee. Soreness in his right knee. Kind of speculating that it may have had something to do with that right knee. So Cargo left after 2 at-bats. Barnes flew to right in his first AB. And there's the base hit. 1 run has scored. Here comes Blackmon. The throw from Bourne is on line. Out at the plate, but I think this one will be reviewed. The tag was high up on the body. It'll be interesting to see if Charlie's feet were in.
They're going to keep the guys out on the field.
It was a perfect throw from Bourne, and the tag was applied by Bethancourt as he received it, but it looked, again, this is with the naked eye, watching it as you all did, it looked like the tag was, you know, in the upper part of the body, and I wonder if Charlie's feet were in.
And they put Bourne in for defense this half inning. If it's Johnny Gomes, it's not even going to be this close.
I don't know. Let's see. This will be a perfect angle.
Hard to see if he swiped him on the back.
You know, the unfortunate thing is Charlie on the slide, the front foot didn't contact the near side of the plate. They will take a look at it.
Did that foot ever touch the plate? When he started to slide with that left foot, it came off inches before it hit the plate.
Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. So exactly what we thought could happen did.
Right?
Barnes came through. Let's see if we have...
Here's what I'm talking about. Inches. Inches from that left foot.
Yeah, it's going to be upheld. So
it starts to slide, and then it comes up across the plate. And it was upheld.
Well, the Rockies get 1 run back. It's now a 2-run game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. By Office Liquidators, offering Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices for new, used, and refurbished office furniture. And by Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. Rockies get a run back in the 8th, 5-3 Atlanta as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Gonzalez Germain in, and his slider is a strike on Adonis Jordan.
20th appearance for Gonzalez. Last pitch 3 days ago against the Mets. A couple hits, 2 earned runs in 1 inning. And we've seen a live fastball and a above average changeup. But the problem Gonzalez has had is some walks, 15 and 22 and 2/3.
2-1. Jorge De La Rosa goes 7 innings tonight. He allows 5 runs. All of the runs were earned. 9 hits. He walked 4. And he struck out 3. 2-1 on Adonis Garcia. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Garcia. Arodys Vizcaíno getting ready to throw the 9th inning, and a strikeout of Adonis Garcia. Look who was at Coors Field today, number 17. Spending the afternoon with Mason from Make-A-Wish, Colorado. Good to see him in uniform again. Looks like it still fits,
That's
too.
what I was thinking. Still looks like he could play even after having a birthday the other day.
Pedro Siriaco is 2 for 3. And he takes a strike. Fastball's in the dirt. Braves trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. The Rockies have lost 3 straight. We were talking about attendance earlier. Average attendance throughout the National League this year, more than 32,000. This ball's hit a long way, but it's twisting foul.
Playing fantasy baseball, MLB.TV serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices.
1 out and a 2-2 count on Pedro Siriaco. There's Nick Swisher on deck, the charismatic switch hitter. On the ground to Jose Reyes, who waits, pulls it to the chest, fires across, 2 outs. Well, Nick Swisher on Saturday had quite a day.
I mean, home runs from both sides of the plate with a switch hitter?
Yep. Tied Mark Teixeira. That's the 12th time in his career he's done that. 14th time. I said 12. 14th time Swisher has hit a home run in the same game from both sides of the plate. Former Ohio State star. He brings a lot of energy to the ballpark. Go with Cleveland. Really struggled. He's already hit more home runs with Atlanta.
Remember him those years in New York? He never shied away from anything there in the Big Apple.
See that? Looks like the Mets have cooled off, huh?
They're beating the Phillies 13-7.
7 home runs. The Mets went from the worst offense arguably in baseball, and now over the last month they look like the 27 Yankees.
And I attribute it to Cespedes. I mean, what he's brought to that club, taking some of the pressure off the other guys.
Two balls and a strike on Nick Swisher. Change-ups in the dirt.
Oh.
CC Sabathia for the Yankees had to go on the shelf today. With knee situation, and they re-signed Chris Capuano. They had him, they let him go, and now they had to re-sign the veteran left-hander out of Duke.
That was the same knee he had surgery on.
Ball four, so Swisher walks.
So the home run.
Bring up Nick Markakis.
The home runs for the Mets: David Wright, Juan Lagares, Wilmer Flores, Travis d'Arnaud, Cuddy, Daniel Murphy. They spread it out.
Everybody got involved. Two outs in the eighth. 5-3 Atlanta. Tomorrow, Chad Bettis returns to the Rockies rotation. Really looking forward to that. Chad's had some very bright moments this year. And Mike Foltynewicz will go for Atlanta. Got a 4-5 record with a very high ERA. John Gray sitting next to Chad Bettis. Christian Friedrich will face Nick Markakis with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Nick Swisher just walked.
Oh, the only left-hander in the bullpen for Walt now is Christian. His job to come in and be more of a situational guy late in the game. He's hitting 258 off Christian.
Markakis 2 hits tonight, 4 at bats, single and an RBI double in the 6th. Fouled off. Yeah, Christian played his college baseball at Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky recently hired a new head coach by the name of Edwin Thompson, who was an assistant at Georgia State. He was an assistant at Duke. Really well thought of young coach. And the reason I'm mentioning that, in addition to it being Christian's alma mater, is that Edwin Thompson is the husband of Chris Warren's sister. Chris is a longtime Rockies advanced scout who's from Atlanta. Both Chris and his sister went to prestigious Howard University in D.C. So Chris's brother-in-law, now the head coach at EKU, Christian's alma mater. This is on the ground at third, and it goes off of Nolan into short left field. I'm sure that's going to be a hit. It would have been a tougher play. I say tougher for most. We've seen Nolan make that play before. We've seen Nolan make all kinds of extraordinary plays. Now they're 2 on for Maben.
Because of where he started on this play and how deep he was. The side spin off the bat of the left-hander, the jam shot was off the heel of the glove of Nolan, but it is going to go down as a base hit. And I agree with that call. Just because of where he started, it would have been a remarkable play if he came up with it and then made the throw across.
Yeah. 10 hits now for the Braves. Maben has 2 of those 10. He's 2 for 3 and a walk. (5-3) Atlanta. Friedrich trying to keep it that way. It's 2-0. Arenado will lead off in the top of the 9th for the Rockies. DJ comes and gets this one, throws out Maben. So that will end the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th. Atlanta holding a 2-run lead on the Rockies. _RM on Twitter to receive alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special with Taco Bell. Arodys Vizcaíno is 3 for 3 in save opportunities. He's now the 9th inning man. Of course, a while back, Jason Grilli was lost. That was a big blow, not only to Atlanta's fortunes at the time, but Grilli was somebody that they probably were going to move around the trade deadline and pick up some future pieces.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the Braves, but more importantly, unfortunate for Jason Grilli to go down with this Achilles injuries and miss the rest of this year. It was just hard to watch him. Let's grab his leg and then be carted off. Because everybody that's been around Jason Grillen, they know what type of person he is more than what kind of a pitcher he is. Because he's an ace.
Yeah, he's an all-world guy, and he's turned himself. You know, early in his career, he was a solid guy, but he then became one of the better closers. You know, first with the Pirates, and he's doing some work down here. So,
and that's been an issue, closing games for Atlanta. They have 21 blown saves. That's most in the major leagues. But that's why they went out and got Jim Johnson. Thought he might be the guy. No, that didn't work. You had Avilan. He also got hurt.
So Arenado at the plate 0 for 3, and he takes strike one. If you're wondering about blown saves, Atlanta has 21. The A's are next with 20. The Rockies are tied for third most in baseball with 19. And they're tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is in the air to shallow right. And coming on and making the catch is Marquez. The Dodgers of the $300 million payroll. And they're, see, to me, the blown saves is misleading because you can't get a save unless typically you're pitching in the 9th inning. Let's get a 3-inning save, or, you know, get 4 outs, that sort of thing. But you can get a blown save in the 7th inning if you don't hold the game, and that's what you get if you do something positive for your club and pass along the baton. You get a hold. So for the Dodgers, it's not really Kenley Jansen. It's what's happening prior to Kenley Jansen.
And that's what they've been having with the problem in L.A. after Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke.
Ben Paulson is 2 for 2 and a walk. Rockies have had 7 base runners. 3 times it has been Paulson.
And for the new appointed closer, Vizcaíno, since July 20th, he's only given up 7 hits in 12 2/3 inning. No runs, 13 strikeouts, just 5 walks.
And that's fouled off. 2 strikes on Paulson. DJ's on deck. After that, Nick Hundley. Rockies trailing 5-3. They've hit a pair of home runs tonight. Paulson a solo shot in the 2nd. Charlie Blackmon in the 1st inning. Georgia kids have done well on their return home.
Speaking of Georgia, Alan Matthews, the area scout from Georgia, North Florida, is in attendance today.
Yeah, and Alan's done a terrific job for the Rockies through the years, and that's a hotbed, man, where Alan's covering. There's so many great players coming out of this neck of the woods.
One of those guys, indeed, was Charlie Blackmon.
You have the East Cobb facility nearby. You have the Perfect Game facility about 30 miles up the road, up 75. And there's a strikeout of Paulson. They'll get the out at first. They're 2 gone, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. DJ, a ground ball to second, a fly ball to right. And a line drive to second. The ground ball to second looked like it may have been a hit off the bat. Peterson made a sliding stop and just threw him out. Smoked that line drive to second in the 7th. DJ's hit it hard. Nothing to show for it. Trying to keep it alive for Nick Hundley. Vizcaíno's fastball at 99. Ball 1.
With movement.
DJ takes, and it's a strike. I was hoping at some point tonight Sugar Ray Merriman would get in the game for Atlanta.
Named after Sugar Ray Leonard.
truly. And he's the cousin of Julio Teheran. So it would have been appropriate had he pitched today. On the ground to short. The out recorded at first, and the Braves win the baseball game 5-3 tonight. They snap a 7-game losing streak. The Rockies have now lost 4 straight, and they lose the opening game of this road trip. Again, the final 5-3. Julio Teheran with the victory. He's now 9-6. Jorge De La Rosa takes the loss. He is 7-6. For Vizcaíno, he is 4 for 4 in save opportunities. Let's get you to our Denver studios. Here's Jenny Kavnar again. Jenny.